Namaste. This is Manoj, Joshi. And when we do the Namaste, there is a beautiful meaning behind it. Everything that we do in the yoga tradition has a ritual behind it, has a meaning behind it, has a philosophy behind it, has a age-old practice behind it. And there is some scientific validation of this also. As I've already talked about, when you put your palms together, your thumbs touching the heart center, that activates the Anahata chakra, that brings your awareness to the center. And all the fingertips that touch each other to activate the subtle points of acupressure that brings more balance to the left and right brain. And the philosophical meaning of Namaste means I am recognizing that you are God, and I am bowing down to that God within you. Isn't it so profound? I am bowing down to the God within you. That means you are the God. And today I am proving that you are the God. Is there any doubt? No, right? So you are the God. So let's prove it. So today, it reminds me of a story. It's a small anecdote. A king was going to a battle. He was in a hurry. And on the way, he came across one sage. And then he said, "Oh master, I'm going to fight this battle for my countrymen. I do not know whether I'll come alive or not. So can you please share one word, remembering which I'll be the winner, this way or that way. That means with this body or without this body. Please tell me one word that could give me the real winning of life." And the sage said to the king, "If you're looking for only one word of wisdom, of liberation, that is awareness. The awareness is the word. If you understand, if you remember, if you contemplate on that, you will be the winner." And the same thing for us. We are also kings and queens of our life, rather gods and goddesses of our life. But we have forgotten that. And that is the required thing. Otherwise, we won't be able to play this game of life. This reminds me of a joke. Like in a church, the father was preaching, and after the preaching was done, he will come to the congregation and then mingle with people, social networking. So he found a person who was not very regular to the church. And he said to him, "Sir, you should join the army of God." "Then what do you mean? I'm already part of the army of God." But the father said, "But how come I see you only on Easter Sunday and then Christmas time?" Then he whispered in the ears of the father, "I'm in secret service. That means I'm in disguise. You can't see me all the time." So likewise, even though you are the God, you are always in disguise. You don't want to reveal your true nature. Because the moment you reveal yourself, then there is no fun of this life. We'll again go back to our home. Because this planet Earth is a playground, and we all are coming here to play the game of life with stress, with worries, with anxieties, with coronavirus, with flu, with everything put together. That's the spice of life. So if you realize that you are the God, then there is no fun of anything. Right? But as a coach, I have to remind you that you are the God. But don't remember that. Always forget that. You'll enjoy life more. As I was telling the story of I will not remember the three-legged monkey or three-legged elephant. I'll not remember the talking frog. I'll not remember the lame monkey. But she was always remembering that, because the moment you say that I will not remember, you will tend to remember more. So likewise, when you say that, we have been saying in yoga classes or here also, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. If you say it to a small child, the child will say I will not remember that I'm not this body. I'll not remember that I'm not this mind. Right? I will not remember this, I'm not this body. I'll not remember that I'm not this mind. So that will actually do the right thing. So friends, let's enjoy life. Let's have that positive perspective. Everything happens for a good cause. Although there is pain, there is suffering, And everywhere there are a lot of confused state of everything is happening. A lot of people say that the coronavirus is killing people, but even the effect of quarantining for such a long time, the business is going down, people are stuck together in one room. There is a lot of socioeconomic dynamics into that. There are a lot of psychological impact. So it's a very complex situation that we're going through. So in order to fix this, we have to have a very innovative mindset. Globally, we have to think through it. We have to really do a discussion and debate about how do we really come out of this. And this is just a wake-up call. A lot of people are saying this is just the beginning. It might happen again and again. What kind of preparedness we should do? And then awareness of who we are. That will also give us more courage, more freedom. As I've already told you that story, like in how the person having severe boils in his skin could recover faster by accepting the bacteria and virus on his body. Because as it is, our body is full with virus and bacteria. So if we have a compassionate attitude, the effectiveness of this coronavirus will be less and less in our body. And that is what in the beginning when I talked about one of the story of bacteria, virus and ill will. So there is an ill will component in the virus itself. The negative will, the negative energy inside the virus, that causes more harm. And as it is, suppose the virus were belonging to a different habitat, like the bats or the animals or somewhere else, and then suppose suddenly they come to the human body, they are also totally baffled, they are disturbed, they are not sure what is this new environment, so they are also struggling. So in order to accommodate them, we have to calm down our mind. And everywhere it has been proven that if you relax your mind, if you cut down the stress, even with or without the medicine, you will have a positive impact. Your body will start healing itself. And this body is designed to heal itself. Just like look at all the animals in the planet. They don't go to the doctors. I mean, unless the domestic animals. But the wild animals, they are maintaining their health by following the law of nature. So by nature, we are a colony of very many viruses, bacteria, microbes, all these things are filled with our body. In fact, only 10% are human cells, 90% are not human cells in our body. There is so much of concept of like how we become a colony of things. I've already explained the concept of microcosm and macrocosm. We are the microcosm and the whole universe is a macrocosm. And what is there in the entire universe is also present in our own body and mind. So today let's delve a little bit more deeper into that one word, that awareness, that the sage talked to the king, that if you remember, if you contemplate on this single word called awareness, you will become the winner. You'll become peaceful, you'll become calm, you'll become a successful king. To illustrate this further, let me just share a story from Chandogya Upanishad. You know, our Vedas and Upanishads are filled with different stories, different anecdotes, different metaphors, different similes to explain the same concept again and again, because we need to be reminded again and again the rule of the life game. Otherwise you'll forget it and then you'll feel like we are God, right? So I'm just having a little funny note to this concept that we are the God but we are in disguise. So let's think about what is our true nature. Who are we? Or rather, what are we? Because this body, this mind is constantly changing. So what is that thing that doesn't change at all? What is real? Totally real. What doesn't change with time? What doesn't change with space? It so happened that there was a monk, his name is Uddalaka, sage, Muni. And he had only one son, his name is Swetaketu. It's a very powerful story. You like it. It's all about you. So pay attention, please. So Swetaketu was a very bright, brilliant boy, and he learnt for first 12 years of his life under the tutelage of his own father, because he himself was a real guru, teacher. And he taught him whatever he required to learn about the basics of life, the lifespan education they call it. What is mind, what is intellect, what is love, what is compassion, all the different things that we must learn before we learn anything else. So he was given the proper training of yoga and Vedanta and everything that he needed to learn for first 12 years. And after that, his dad thought like, I want to make my son very brilliant, very successful in his life. So I want to send him to somebody else. So he found one of his friends who was also a very great scholar and the teacher. So he sent him, his son Swetaketu, to his ashram. And he spent another 12 years to learn more things. He learned the Panini's Vyakaran or the grammar, he learned the astronomy or the science of stars and galaxies, he learned the Ayurveda, different aspects of herbs and the Dinacharya, all different concepts. And he came back after 12 years. And as usual, the dad asked him, son, what did you learn? And then he gave a long list of things that I learned this, I learned that, I learned this, I learned that, long list. So in that mode, the father identified that this son developed a lot of knowledge, but there is an element of arrogance. There is no that vinaya or the humility was not there. Like we say in Sanskrit, vidya dadati vinayam. That means that humility has to be there. Just like Newton said when he was interrogated, when he was asked like, oh wow, he would know so much. But he explained to the people like, what I know is just equivalent to a grain of sand in the entire ocean. Look at how much of sand will be there in an ocean. And out of that, what I know is just one tiny grain of the sand. That's the humility. Vidya dadati vinayam. So that element was a little bit missing in Swetaketu. So his father wanted to teach him a lesson. So he asked, son, did you learn? You learned everything, but did you learn that thing by knowing which you'll be able to know all unknowable things? Did you learn that thing by perceiving which you'll be able to perceive unperceivable things? Did you learn that thing by knowing which you'll be able to see what cannot be seen by the eyes? And then Swetaketu said, no dad, no, nobody taught me like that. Maybe my teacher did not know about that. I never learned about this thing. What is this about? What are you teaching? I'm confused. What is that thing that you know, by knowing which you know everything? And then this dad gave him different ways. There are 3 different levels of explanation he does. Very interesting. So he said that look at son, like there is a lump of clay. And out of this clay, you can make various things. Like you can make a pot, you can make a ladle, you can make a doll. Just so many things you can make out of this clay. So, but if you know everything about this clay, this lump of clay, you will also learn everything about the pot, everything about the ladle, everything about the object that you make from this clay. You will be able to know about that. So this is an example. So if you know about the clay, you will know all the components that they are made up of clay, right? And if you look at the clay in the pot, it's a very interesting comparison in the Vedantic science. They take this example of explaining what is real and what is an appearance. So if you look at it a little bit deeper, the pot is an appearance of the clay. The clay is the essential aspect of the pot, isn't it? Like if I take the clay out of the pot, will there be any pot? So the pot is an appearance. The clay is the real stuff. So similarly, if you look at the examples of all the ornaments, like the bracelet or the ring, these are ornaments out of gold. So gold is the essential element of these ornaments. The ornaments will not be able to exist by themselves without the gold. So the gold is the essential things in this case. Likewise, if you take a furniture, the wood is the essential stuff of furnitures. Likewise, if you think about the ocean, what is the intrinsic value of the ocean? What is the real essence of the ocean? The water. The waves and bubbles are different forms of water. But because we are seeing outside, the eyes are trained only to see the objective world, we tend to forget the essence of it. And then Shweta, wow, this is very interesting, Dad, very interesting. Tell me more, tell me more. I want to learn more about this clay. Then the father said, okay, son, look at that big tree, the banyan tree that we have in front of our ashram. Just go there and then get me a fruit. So enthusiastically, the Shwetaketu, the son, he went, plucked a fruit and gave it to him. And then his dad said, like, okay, cut it open, break it into half. What do you see? I see all the seeds, tiny little seeds in a small fruit. Then take one seed and then cut it again. Made into half, cut it again. 1/4 of that, take a little bit. And then one little thing was just on his fingertip. What do you see? The son said, Father, I don't see anything. Just nothing. Nothing is there. But his dad said that what you see, that nothing, that you cannot see on your fingertips, that thing is the source of that big tree that you see. That means that tiny little thing that you have has the potential of making the big banyan tree. Just like we have one tiny cell in our body created us in the first place. One tiny cell in our mother's womb created trillions of cells. This is all science. The RNA, DNA, the chromosomes, the basic nature, the information is already hidden inside that atom. And each atom make molecules, molecules make different matters, and matters and energy merge together, the consciousness flows into that, and then we feel life. And then that is it. That unseen thing, by knowing what, you will see everything. And then he said, you are that. In Sanskrit, he called it Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. You are that unseen thing. Oh, he got very excited. Wow, this is great. Dad, tell me more, tell me more. Then he said, okay, son, go and then give me a bucket of water and a handful of salt. And then he asked the son to put the salt in the water and then mix it. And then he asked him to taste the water. How does it taste? He said, salty, naturally. So on the top of the water, it's salty. Take a sample of the middle of the water, it's salty. And even in the bottom of the water, it's salty. That means the salt has mingled inside the water. Inseparable. You can separate it out. Isn't it? So likewise, that thing which makes you up, that consciousness, that awareness, is also completely pervading inside you, from the head to the toes, in every tiny cell, every tissue, every organ in your body, in your mind, in your intellect, that enlivens you. That is the real power of you, and that is the true nature of you. By knowing what, you know everything. And that is the reflection of everything. This story also goes with another little story that it makes sense right now. Ramana Maharshi, he was a great sage. So somebody asked Ramana Maharshi, why the world is created? Why this is creation? There is so much of stress, sufferings, pain, worries, anxiety, sickness, death, life. Why this world is created? And the answer that Ramana Maharshi gave is very profound. He said that, okay, think about your eyes. Can the eyes see themselves? No, right? You cannot make your eyes see themselves, although they see everything. But what you need to see your eyes? Obviously, a mirror. So you need a mirror to see your eyes. So Ramana Maharshi said, just like that a mirror on which you can see your eyes, the whole creation is like a big gigantic mirror on which you see that eye. That means you see the reflection of you in every object in this entire universe. And that's the mirror. Now look at that. So what you see is what you get. That's a very popular sentence that we learn in computer science. Whenever the new resolution was coming up, like when you see the real picture, they used to describe it, it's called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. That means the real color of a flower, what you see in the nature, is exactly you see that in the screen. That means it's a WYSIWYG compliant. So what you see is what you get. That's true. What you see is what you get. But what you don't see is what you are. So what you see is what you get. Like if you see your husband, you get your husband. If you see your wife, you get your wife. All this package considered. But if you close your eyes and try to see your spouse, your children, you see the beauty inside them. You see the concept of the husband. You see that personality of that wife, personality of the children, which is more powerful than the limitations of this body and mind. The moment you see things as an objective way, all these colors and strays and size and shape will complicate your mind, will corrode your mind, will corrupt your mind. You won't be able to see the beauty of life. You won't be able to see the beauty of the soul. You won't be seeing the awareness at all. You'll be confined to the outer realm of body, the dress, the ornaments, the jewelries. But you'll miss the personality inside, the real awareness, what you call the God inside. Right? So that is the Maya. And what is essence is Brahman. So you are the Brahman, Tattvam Asi. You are that Brahman, and everything else, the name, form, utilities, is all Maya or the illusion of mind. And this is what is proven by the scientist community right now. Your brain learns how to hallucinate everything. It always tries to see something or hear something and always try to make the best guess possible. That's what happens in the beginning few years. We try to collect every information about every object and try to store it in the huge database in our brain. And then when we see something which is very similar to that, the brain tells us this looks like a table, this looks like an ornament, this looks like a phone, this looks like a person. But if you hear something totally new for the first time, your brain will not be able to make that first guess. And you won't know what is that thing. And second time you learn it. So our brain is constantly making this adjustment of learning about our body, about our breath, about our mind, and all these different things that we interact in the objective world is a function of our brain power, which is of course the power of our mind. But inside each of this is the power of our consciousness, that awareness. Look at, if you open your eyes right now, you only see things around it. But if you close your eyes, through your third eye, you will be able to see the entire universe. You'll be able to see your house, you'll be able to see your office place, you'll be able to see your birthplace, you'll be able to see all those beautiful places that you visited. All by closing eyes, you see more. By opening eyes, you see less. So what you see is what you get. And what you don't see is what you are. Swetaketu learnt it. Tattvam Asi, you are that. And you are the expression of everything. That means you are only a reflection. The whole world is a reflection of you only. Only you are the truth. And that is so true. That means the practical application of this, any time that you see somebody outside, just see that that person is a reflection of you only. Anything and everything. It will open up the mind. It will open up our consciousness. And this is the fundamental truth that Yoga and Vedanta talks about in every lesson. There are thousands and thousands of books written, there are thousands of verses written to explain this simple concept. Tattvam Asi. This is one of the 4 pronouncements of the Vedas. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. Tattvam Asi, you are that Brahman. I am Atma, I am that soul. Right? So those are all profound concepts which reminds us who we are and what we are. And this is so well explained in the concept of Om. Just the symbol Om itself, or the sound of Om, it represents the real nature of us. See, our true awareness or true consciousness goes through different states of consciousness. In a wakeful state, you experience differently by interacting with different things and beings, objects in the world. In a deep sleep state, you forget everything. Your mind becomes totally blank, like a clean slate, a whiteboard, clean whiteboard. And then in the dream state, you create an alternate world. Everything totally fresh, new, totally out of your imagination. But when you are dreaming, for the dreamer, everything is true, just like a real world. So there could be a question whether what we are doing right now, is it a dream, or when we see the actual dream, that's real. You can't prove it, which one is real and what is dream. Because both are equally powerful states of our consciousness. So these three states, the wakeful state, the dream state and the deep sleep state, are the three states of mind where you go through. So who goes through? The person who is not seen, whether as a waker or a dreamer or a sleeper, is the person that you are. So that person which is not seen, not known, not perceived in a usual way, is the real you who will go through these three states. And this Om sound, the A, O and sound, that represents the three states. The A states represent the wakeful state. The O represents your deep sleep state. And humming represents, or O represents your dream state. And hum sound represents your deep sleep state. And the silence after the Om is your true self. That's called the Turiya state, the fourth state of our mind. And we have a very powerful technique called Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a profound technology of mind over body. It brings that awareness throughout the body in a different way. And it reminds you this pure feeling of this awareness. It creates very pure quality prana, or the life force inside your body. Every cell becomes fresh and again. Because if you sleep unconsciously, you'll only get that much of the positive energy. But if you sleep consciously, because you're investing the awareness component into it, you get more, at least 4 times more relaxation. So tonight, Friday night, every day, Friday night in Pacific time, 8 to 9, we do a Yoga Nidra. It's a longer version of Yoga Nidra. We understand the concept, go deep within, identify who is that person, what is that pure awareness, and we spread that awareness throughout the body, to every cell and tissue. So let's try to do this meditation, just to be who we are or what we are. Bring your palms together, friends. Keep your back straight and upright. Keep your eyes gently closed. Take this moment to remind yourself of your personal goal, your sankalpa, your resolve. I'm totally healthy. I'm truly happy. And I'm having a strong immune system, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And try to transmit this knowledge, this feeling. So the simple technique of prana shakti, that amplifier. You can also chant Om Prana Shakti, Prana Shakti, Prana Shakti, Prana Shakti, Prana Shakti. As you inhale and as you exhale, Om Prana Shakti, Prana Shakti, Prana Shakti. Whatever that is convenient for you, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, chant in your mind and try to see that awareness in the form of a radiant light in your heart. And just try to focus on this for some time. Let's do it for 1 minute. So today's topic was Tattvam Asi. You are that Brahman. You are that which is reflected in everything and every being in this universe. Even in the coronavirus, your presence is there. And if we embrace that awakening the true awareness that the whole world is a manifestation of pure consciousness, we will be able to overcome this danger, this critical moment in an easier way, effortless way, joyful way. So friends, let's spread this knowledge through our meditation. Please practice a few more times. Maybe you can extend it to 5 minutes of this meditation and feel like you are the true awareness which is present in your heart. Let that light glow, let that awareness be vibrant in your mind, in your intelligence, in your body.